sassy northern matriarch.
And Sarah, your anxious feminist auntie.
And we are representing
the Tees
Women
Poets.
Yes, it's all about growing up a girl in the northeast. We've done Hartlepool, now it's
Redcar.
Or Redcar.
Redcar. And we're getting busy getting together season 2 of Growing Up a Girl. And this time we're asking the folks of Redcar, what is it like to be a woman or girl living in Redcar? This episode is a taster of things to come, brought to you by Content is Queen, who have been mentoring us for the past month because we won an award.
Whoop, whoop.
Hello, it's Imriel here, the CEO of Content is Queen. We run the Microgrant for Podcasters programme, and every year we get hundreds and hundreds of applications from really incredible creators who choose to share their ideas with us. And this year, Growing Up a Girl was one of our Microgrant Award winners, and we're so excited to be a part of the journey with Sarah, Dianne and Kirsten. The podcast is truly unique in that it is chatty and conversational, but it also has like these beautiful moments of poetry which just provide like just this unexpected relief when you're listening. And yeah, the podcast is really delightful and heartbreaking, and it really just takes you on an emotional journey that you just wouldn't really expect actually from the outset. And I think it's that surprise element of the podcast that really comes from Sarah's editing that really brought it to life for us. So hats off to Sarah and Dianne, who've done a phenomenal job on creating this podcast. We love the use of youth voices, but also the intergenerational aspect as well, and bringing to life these lived experiences that we just really would not hear from, coming out of communities that are just often and quite honestly overlooked and ignored. So yeah, it's vitally important that a podcast like this exists. We're really excited to be a part of the journey. And yeah, we can't wait to see where it goes from here. We only hope that this grant gives it a boost to continue.
So if you listen to our first season, you'll know that we are from the Tees Women Poets, a writing and performing collective based in the Northeast. And this podcast is a mix of interviews, discussions, poetry and spoken word to cut through the bullshit and ask, what is life really like for women and girls in these towns? And although we are talking about a lot of local issues, they will absolutely be relatable on a much wider audience. Basically, these things happen everywhere.
Yeah, unfortunately on some things as well. So, poetry. Now, don't roll your eyes. Don't think you're back at school. Take some time to really enjoy poetry. Poetry is an absolute gift. It's not like it was back at school. Poetry has long been a way for people to express themselves creatively. Throughout history, women have played a significant part in shaping the world of literature, from Maya Angelou to Sylvia Plath to Rupert Carr. Women poets have made their mark on the world with powerful words that speak truth to power. Representation matters because when somebody sees themselves mirrored back at them, they realise they're not alone. They're part of a bigger narrative filled with individuals whose stories matter. Women need to know their stories are valuable because we're so often not heard, and influence society for all the future generations. And we find that if you give people a space and a microphone, magic happens.
So this is a taster of our upcoming season, Growing Up a Girl in Redcar. Let's hear a little about the area.
When someone asks me where I'm from, I tell them very proudly that I'm from Redcar. And then I explain to them where Redcar is, and I usually say it's between Whitby and Newcastle on the coast, where we live by miles and miles of golden sands. Even though I'm from Redcar, I always have to say I am Redcar born and bred. I just don't have the accent. And I love that because I really was raised by a community, and it was a very rich tapestry of community.
If you had to say to somebody, come to this area because
We have lemon tops and we have goths here.
Yeah.
The sea.
The sea.
The sun.
The sun. When it's sunny.
Yeah, girly, we live in the UK. What's on? Again, I would like to go back to the whole lemon top thing. And seagulls. Seagulls! Oh my god. It truly is the land of the seagulls.
Amusements.
Oh yeah, 2p machines!
2p machines.
The 2p
We love
machines.
the vertical pier.
Yes. Oh yeah, the PR vibe.
I think that we're creative. We're a community.
Seagulls. Like I'm saying, we need to make seagulls the symbol of Redcar.
Salty. There's a lot of salt in the air.
There's a lot of seaside shit now there is. And there's so much ice cream. There's ice cream literally everywhere.
Yeah. Fossils. Petrified forests.
I loved growing up around like actual nature. That's great.
Yeah.
The thought of growing up in a city makes me want to vomit.
I think the pride.
Oh yeah, Middlesbrough Pride's so good.
No, I meant pride of like the area. Also like
Oh, yeah.
pride, but pride of like.
I don't think we have
Oh,
much
yeah,
of that.
yeah.
either.
Proud. Bit gay.
I swear.
Bit gay, innit?
Inclusive, diverse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of us are.
last series we used the indicators set out by Plan UK to start conversations with our community. Things like higher obesity rates, teen conception, educational attainment and poverty, which Plan UK say can make it tougher to grow up a girl.
Some of the voices that you'll hear in this taster episode came from a queer youth group with a lot of neurodiverse members. Me and Dianne have had a lot of discussions around gender and who we're actually talking about when we say women and girls. So what we mean is anybody with a lived experience of being a woman or a girl. To break this down really simply, regardless of what gender you were assigned at birth, if you have experienced life as a woman, cis or trans, or have had others assume you were a woman and girl, your voice is needed and wanted. So for our next clip, these are some definitions that might be helpful. AFAB.
I'm so glad that's in there because I did not have a Scooby-Doo.
AFAB means assigned female at birth. Basically, the gender your doctor said you were at birth, based only on genitalia. Another useful term to define is non-binary. Okay, so how the National Centre for Transgender Equality explains non-binary is that if you think of the idea that there are only two genders being called a gender binary, because binary means having two parts, male and female. So therefore, non-binary is a term that people use to describe genders that don't fall into these two categories, male or female. So for example, somebody who is non-binary might feel like a mix of genders, or they might feel like they have no gender at all.
Regardless of being non-binary, we still have like the lived female experience, and sometimes it's, and like granted it requires care, and it's not always easy to be involved in those conversations, but it's still important that we as non-binary people that are AFAB should still get to be involved in conversations about women's issues, because ultimately, as the person who I am most likely to experience day-to-day misogyny from is someone that has never met me and is only really going to take me from face value, and I'm not stupid. Like, I know that you aren't going to assume, oh yes, that person is non-binary just from looking at me. You're going to go, that's a woman. That's not a... Sometimes that's a difficult thing to have to accept, but ultimately, at least how I look at it, I don't mind. I just understand that that's just the way that it is, and I can't really change that unless I make drastic changes to my appearance, which I resent the idea that I would ever have to do. So I will just take it. But we want our seat at the table when it comes to talking about women's issues and issues that come with the lived female experience.
Yeah,
however,
at the same time, we still grew up like with people perceiving us as a woman. So we have that experience that cis women do have, and we should be allowed to talk about that because we have lived it.
So this is always an interesting question when we ask the community, what are the challenges of growing up in Redcar? It always seems to be there's not a delay that the community can answer straight away, and they know what their issues are. They just need help to achieve it or make some changes.
Growing up a girl in Redcar in the 1970s and early 1980s, there seemed to be a lot of things that didn't quite add up. My mum and dad were progressive in that they said girls could do anything just as well as boys, and they wanted the same opportunities for their daughters as they did for their son. Yet the teachers used to ask for big, strong boys to help them move the dinner tables. And I played football with the boys at playtime in primary school, but I wasn't allowed to play football in PE. Luckily, I found some kind of outlet in netball, but it wasn't quite the same. And the very fact I wanted to do those kind of things, I was deemed a tomboy. And I got the impression that that wasn't altogether a great thing to be.
Do you think it's tough growing up here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And why do you think it's tough?
People are dodgy. There's a lot of issues with, like, drugs.
I'm around vaping 11-year-olds constantly.
Looking back, I think there was a lot of alcohol and drugs in the area as well, and I know that there was like drugs on our estate and stuff. But despite all that, like there was some of Broughton's a part of like East Cleveland, so it's about a 20-minute drive from Redcar, right near the coast, and there is some beautiful spaces over in Broughton. Like Mum, awesome with kids. She'd take all the kids off the estate. She'd take us brambling, take us down to Kilton Woods and explore like Kilton Castle ruins, and we'd go frog spawning, all sorts of stuff. So despite all of the not so beautiful things in Broughton, venture that little bit further and there is some beautiful spaces. Whether I felt like that at the time, looking back as an adult now, as a woman now, not the greatest, and quite challenging.
So do you feel like it's safe to walk the streets where you live?
Oh no.
Where I live, yes. But if I go further out, then it gets a bit like, gotta be careful.
Nor, but I do it anyway. Because cats live on the other street and I need to see them.
You need to see the cats.
I need to see the cats.
I would say where I am, yes and no. But I wouldn't go for like, I would be too I don't know if it's just my anxiety, but I would be too anxious going for a run at night.
Yeah.
In the winter. In the summer it's light, isn't it?
Another big thing was around sexual harassment and northern men's views to women. Would you say that's true of Redcar?
Yeah.
Does sexual harassment in...
Yes.
Yeah.
I got a list. I've been catcalled about 5 different times in my life, and keep in mind I am 16. So that's not fun. There's a lot of misogyny that people just gloss over because like, oh, like it's just a joke. No, it's not funny. It's not funny.
I've been tired for most of my life. Emotionally drained from being mentally restrained, waking up an enemy of my own mind. And I won't do it anymore. I cannot keep fighting. My voice is hoarse from shouting, my hands are bruised from writing. My letters are not read. My phone calls go unanswered. My emails are hardly acknowledged, my ideas are quelled as standard. They like you when you're pretty, but don't be loud or confident about it. and they don't like you when you stand and demand to be counted. You can't have it all. That's what they tell us. Be a mother, or a wife, or a disruptor. Compete, but don't be jealous. So I'm tired, and I'm tested, and I'm sick, but I'm still invested in a world that won't force me to compete with my sisters. I won't do it anymore, sorry. I will not battle against you. I will support you whether you like it or not. And you will learn to accept my voice, and if you ever have to make a choice between me and you, I hope you choose you. Because I would. I choose you every time. And when you need a warrior, I will be there to fight with you. And when you need a torch, I will bring my fire to light with you. And when you need a guide, I will bring my hand and walk through the night with you. I will not take your place. I will lift you and be your champion. And I will not take an opportunity away from you and give it to a man. Because it's exhausting to be a woman, and I can't do it every day. But tomorrow is another chance to try, and I will find the energy to take up space.
Oh, yes. So good. Keep taking up that space. Keep taking it up. That was amazing.
Oh, okay, so something we got loads of positive feedback about, as well as how good the poetry in this podcast is how nice it is to hear strong regional accents. And it's not something we hear enough of.
I completely agree with that. I love the sound of a regional accent. In fact, I'm not particular. My mother tongue is Teesside. Pretty canny weather, like.
That means the weather's quite nice, isn't it?
You're joking, aren't you?
Excuse me, are you joking?
I'm proper tired, me, like.
I'm quite sleepy.
Devil, I missed last night.
Oh, I'm a bit disappointed I was not at last night's event.
I was clamouring for a gin.
Oh, I'd really love a gin.
Stotting, I had to stop in.
I was so angry I had to stay in.
Oh, thank you for being my dictionary. Would love to know your thoughts on accents, so please leave a comment or maybe leave words that you use regionally. Let's just make it a celebration. Let's not try to think everyone has to sound the same as everybody else, because we don't, do we?
Yeah, so I've never had a strong Teesside accent, which is where I grew up. My dad does, but my mum sounds so much posher than she is.
Does she? Why was that then?
Because her parents actually met during World War II. So my mum's mum was German and my mum's dad was an English soldier. So like the kids, when they moved to England, were really encouraged to lose any trace of German in their accent and not to speak the language. I think probably their mum experienced discrimination because of her sounding German, and she wanted her kids to speak like, you know, proper
Isn't
English.
that sad that she had to lose that part of her? Don't you think? It's...
Yeah, absolutely. But it was definitely passed down to my mum when she was raising me and my brothers. I remember something that we said a lot in our house. It's water, not water.
Yeah, or Teesside, water. You've got to get your ears in.
I mean, I've also moved around a lot, so I've kind of picked up different bits of speech patterns and lilts here and there, which apparently I learnt during our conversations is actually a neurodiverse thing, or can be a neurodiverse thing.
Recently, and they were like, "Oh, where are you from?" And like people from Redcar say Redcar like Redcar.
So, oh yeah,
Redcar. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Redcar," and she was like, "Where?" And I was like, "Redcar," and she was like, "Edgar?" I was like, "No, Redcar." She's like, "Oh," and it's really fun that people from here usually will probably just say it like Redcar, but like everyone else is like
Redcar.
What?
I don't sound like very northern until my O's come out. Like if I were to say I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think I was saying before, I've lived here basically all my life, and I've had people ask what my accent is. I've had like Canadian, I've had American, I've had like Australian, but I've only just lived in the north. Like, that's it. It's a bit of a joke in the community. It's called an autism accent.
So, basically, it's especially a very neurodivergent thing because, especially with autistic people, because we unintentionally mimic. Because we quite often, actually, if you get an early diagnosis, you get people who like teach you social cues, like in formal education, and you end up unintentionally mimicking people because that's the only way that you can talk to other people and then really understand like what you're going on about. So we end up doing random things because like other people around us are doing them. So if we are consuming a certain type of media or we're around a certain group of people, then we will pick up on things that they do. Like, for example, if you consume a lot of American media, especially as an autistic person, it will influence your accent and your pronunciation. It will very much do so.
Different things.
My friend calls it a Disney Channel accent.
Oh my god.
Yeah, relationship. There's so much that could be said about accents. Like I do have the thing where I mimic quite a bit, but I think also what sort of blends into that as well is a sort of maybe a sort of a shame that's taught to you around your.
This is like a classism thing.
There is definitely a classism thing. There's definitely a stigma around having a thick accent, where some people are very, very proud of it, and some people are very very proud of it, and some people they do have it does pose judgment and assumptions based off of what you sound like.
When I was a child, the biggest challenge I faced growing up in Redcar was not fitting in. My accent wasn't right, my accent wasn't common, and it wasn't just the children at school who didn't understand my accent and why I had a weird voice. It was their parents. I remember distinctly walking home with a friend of mine, a little girl that I'd made friends with at school, and her dad asked me if I was American, and I said no. And he said, well, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Redcar. And he he sort of went, you're not from Redcar. And I remember it really sticking with me that the ignorance I was experiencing at school wasn't coming from the children. It was coming from their parents. And because I was different, I wasn't accepted.
Do you think it's an accepting area?
No.
I mean, you guys are, but
Defo's got
there
better.
are areas.
Yeah, it's gotten better, but that's
it's
just
not- it's
less bad.
It's
not good.
great, though. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
but like, we did Pride Parade at school, and lots of people were shouting to kill the gays. When I first came out as trans at school, I think it was about like year 8 or something, I got bullied for it, and they told me it was my fault for coming out, and that what else would I expect? So, you know, it's really not good in that sort of sector.
Yeah.
You can report, but they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, they're just gonna be like, oh, can we shake hands and be friends again? We can just shake hands and be friends again. No. No.
Just want to get these thoughts down. So, number one is, with the media and everything covering the they, them and LGBTQ, I thought things had really moved on. I thought that we were living in an accepting society, particularly with young people. What really saddened me was listening to the group in Redcar talking about the homophobic abuse that they have. It just triggered me back to my gay friends that I grew up with and how the north wasn't for them and they had to move away to London. I don't know, I just thought we were in a better place, and it actually breaks my heart to hear that kids are still saying things like kill the gays. Proper saddened me.
what issues could be better in terms of acceptance? Were you saying
Definitely
pride?
like harassment of like people who are queer
And racism. There's racism
yeah,
too.
racism.
Racism and homophobia are the two biggest ones, probably.
Because it's like a majority, like those people are white. So.
Oh, and a lot of misogyny.
There is a
Let's
lot
be
of misogyny.
real. Oh my god.
Schools also don't cater very well to like neurodivergent kids. They really don't cater very
Yeah,
well.
there's a lot of ableism.
We've
There's a
spoken
lot of
about that.
ableism throughout the entire country, though. So there is quite a lot of neurodivergent people here, and not good cams. So that doesn't really that's not a good thing for us, you know.
Yeah.
So to make that better, do you think something like more funding or more understanding or more opportunities?
More training, please.
Yeah,
Can I
training.
please just have more training? Help.
I think services as well. Like given the decline of like youth clubs and like activity.
I would encourage anyone who may be struggling with their mental health to reach out for help without shame or stigma attached. Yes, we are currently in a funding crisis, but please don't stop asking for help. Don't you think?
I know. I do worry that when people hear about huge waiting lists and that there's so much need, it puts them off actually getting the help.
I know.
And we don't want that at all.
Yeah, and sometimes it can just be sharing with a friend can make a difference. So going back to the horrendous waiting list, the current plan and funding for mental health does not meet the scale of this country's challenges, and we're hearing this every time we speak to anybody or within our families ourselves. In the aftermath of COVID and that horrible cost of living crisis, NHS figures show 30% rise in number of under 18s in England in contact with mental health, learning disabilities and autism services, and they're just the ones we know about. Mine's head of policy and campaigns, Paul Spencer, was quoted, "We know that 1.8 million people are on waiting lists for mental health support." Scandalous. With a further 8 million unable to get any help at all. I mean, what's that saying about the country and what we think about mental health?
It's absolutely dire.
So yes, communities provide support when individuals fall through the cracks, but they haven't got a magic wand. Like it's been said, they need training, they need funding. Let's just hope we get the adequate funding to really make a difference.
And this is something that we heard from our Hartlepool communities too. Mental health services being so underfunded and overworked that people are turning to and leaning on their communities, their friends, their families, and of course that northern stereotype staple, the northern matriarch, our mums.
I grew up very working class with a very raised by a very headstrong single mother who worked full time alongside raising two children, and so that sort of mindset around keeping going and just sort of kind of like stomaching struggle and never actually like going actually I just rather and just sort of keeping going with it rather than like taking it as it comes rather than like actually advocating for that to not be a thing.
I often think of like, you know, the northern matriarch mother stereotype. I often think of her just like as per pack donkey on the beach, just like people keep shoving shit on her back and just have to trundle her along a bit more. And, oh, she's so resilient, she can keep going. You could carry you on shit as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
My mum is like the strongest woman I know. Not only did she have to deal with like 2 abusive relationships while having my brother and me, she also like dealt with her own mental health issues, my brother's and mine. And I feel like sometimes I don't give her enough credit for that, because I mean
I know how much of a mess I've been. Kind of been easy for her to deal with. I mean, at one point, like, she would stay up all night with me and then continue to even work during the day when I was asleep, just because she wanted to make sure that I was okay. She neglected herself for me and my brother all the time, even didn't eat so that we could eat.
Yeah. And you believe that, like, you just go like, yeah, that's what mothers do. That's what you do for your kids, but
You shouldn't have to.
Shouldn't have to. No, absolutely not. And you go, where is anyone else that could help lighten? Where is anyone else that could help lighten that load?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us as women have become so accepting of that fate that you just don't even, like, some women barely resent it, and actually, like, resent the women that are challenging of that idea. Is something that I encounter quite often, is that a lot of women, and if you're comfortable within that role, you're like, that's so fine. But there's also there's something quite upsetting to me to see people that have become so normalized to it that actually someone then advocating for that to maybe not be the case. It will be that woman that will quite often, like, sort of bite back about it. Maybe doesn't see that they're in a system, doesn't really see that they're in a system that is oppressing them anymore because they've been oppressed constantly.
Like, I don't understand why people are so invested in upholding a system that harms people.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
My mum had wrote a poem years ago, I think in year 2000, so 24 years ago, about Broughton. And I thought it'd be perfect to share this. Mum had lost the poem, couldn't find it, but it was published in St Margaret's Church Parish magazine. So I've contacted them and they've just sent me it over this morning. They've found it. The poem is called Forgotten Broughton. The mattress in the tree, the dog dirt on the path, the substandard housing due to unemployment's wrath, the boarded up pubs, the greengrocers is gone, but spoilt for choice if you want your hair done. The lack of community spirit to residents' dismay, replaced with housing associations and subsequent decay. Coffee and biscuits at the Methodist chapel, but we want a bit of the council's apple. The closure of the bank, the high council tax. Where are the facilities that Broughton does lack? The Millennium Committee tries their best, hats off to them with their impossible quest. The lack of money and community spirit, the church's resources are stretched to the limit. Southbank and Grangetown have surely had their whack. It is now time for fellow Broughtoners to jump on Ashok's back.
I love defining what it means to be a Northern matriarch. That's a title I wear with pride. I'm a mum of 3 and a nanny to 8 grandchildren. And traditionally, matriarch describes a woman who heads a family and is often seen as a bossy figure, or as mentioned, a pack donkey.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it is valid. It is valid. And I resonate with the reference to stomaching struggles. And I want to reclaim the term with the understanding that true power comes from being vulnerable and emotional intelligence. It's taken me to my 50s to actually ask for help. Like, how bad's that? I've just struggled and stomached them struggles. Vulnerability is not a weakness. Being honest about our feelings and experiences allows us to create authentic connections, and it shows people that we've got feelings too. Empathy is not just about being understanding towards others. It's also about setting boundaries and standing up for yourself, which is difficult when you've got years of training that you've just got to be that person.
Keep calm and carry on.
Yeah,
is
or like,
bullshit.
is your glass half full or half empty? That one. You can't pour from an empty glass. Well, welcome to my life. It's constantly empty. So I'm unloading the pack horse and I'm returning the baggage back to sender. I'm going to be a northern matriarch that knows my worth and doesn't allow others to diminish my value. I'm going to keep lifting each other's up, and I'm going to share my mistakes. Nobody's perfect, and it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Yes.
One of the wonderful things about the TWP and about this podcast is how intergenerational it is. And one of the great things about talking to so many different ages is that they have lovely advice for each other. We always ask, what would you say to a younger person growing up in this area? And it's lovely hearing the answers.
And so the advice that I would give to a young girl growing up in Redcar today would be, don't listen to every word. And always remember who you're listening to. Because your dreams might be in Redcar, your future might be in Redcar, but it might not be. And don't let your dreams and your future be determined by the words of someone else. Only let your future be determined by your own mind.
What advice would you give anyone growing up today in Redcar?
Come here, we're accepting you.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, we're chill here. It'll be okay because you will have options eventually. You will eventually have options, and I know it is really shit now, but keep in mind that other people also need to go through character development, and the reason why you feel so alone right now is because people haven't gone through maturity yet, and they don't have the maturity to accept you as you are, so... And that's a journey that you do not have to be involved in. You do not have to teach someone how to be a basic human being. That's something that they can learn by themselves. It is okay.
Slay.
The advice that I would give is that there are beautiful things on offer in Redcar in Cleveland, but you just have to go find them, go explore, and don't get washed away with the not so beautiful things that are around you. And your dreams can come true. You just have to tune into them and make your surroundings suit them. And one day you can make something of yourself in this place. You just have to know where to look, to explore, find, and live here, as your dreams can come true. And be bold, be confident, be you.
Redcar's young people are paving the way.
We really do, babe.
You are paving the way. But I think that you're all creative and wonderful and have the solutions to so many of Redcar's problems. And perhaps people don't see it that way.
Right, Redcar young people are... Slay.
We're the best, let's be real. Let's be real for a minute, we are the best.
So goodbye from us, your anxious feminist auntie.
And your northern matriarch. And don't forget, we're on Spotify, Growing Up a Girl in Hartlepool. 3 episodes, definitely worth listening to.
Absolutely. If you want to find out more about the Tees Women Poet, you can visit our website where you can find out about all of our events. You can find out about upcoming projects and where to join in. Yeah,
please do. It's a brilliant sisterhood. You won't regret joining us. And you don't even have to be in Teesside for some of the events. Things like the open mic night, TUMF.
We have a monthly open mic night with people from all over the world. We have monthly writing workshops where you can join on Zoom from anywhere.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be for Teesside. Although, please come and visit Teesside because we're excellent. So, we'd just like to say thank you for listening. It's so important that these young people and women's voices are heard and we do something about it.
Absolutely. We hope this discussion has inspired you to embrace your inner strength while extending compassion towards yourself and others.
Remember, you have the power to lead with both courage and kindness and slay! Thanks for tuning in. As always, until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I love rolling around in the dirt as a kid. That was great.
I did that. I ate mud once. I think that's why I am
The way you are. Yeah.
I'm going to go goodbye from me, and it's a goodbye from
Me.
you. You're showing your age now. It's the two Ronnies, and it's goodbye from me, and it's a goodbye from you.
Is it me showing my age?
Yeah, no, it's me showing my age.
Bye.
Bye.